friends, welcome back. With everything getting more expensive, groceries included, I wanna help you save some money but still eat healthy. So today we're gonna be making 5 budget-friendly meals that are made with simple ingredients and that have just the right balance of protein, carbs, and nutrients you need. Just 10 minutes of hands-on and the oven does the rest. We're starting with the protein since it takes the longest to cook. I'm using 90% lean beef chunks, but feel free to use any cut of beef you prefer. It all works well here. Add your beef to a baking pan. I like to rinse it quickly under cold water, then pat dry. Season simply with salt and black pepper, sometimes less is more. Drizzle about 1 cup of tomato sauce over the top, then add another 1 cup of water to help distribute the flavor evenly. Cover with a lid or foil, then place in a preheated oven at 370 Fahrenheit for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. When it's done, just look at the texture. Tender, juicy, and full of flavor. While the beef is resting, let's warm up our side. In a saucepan, add a can of drained green beans and a spoon of melted butter. Cover and cook over medium heat for 3 minutes. Just enough to bring out the flavor. If you prefer fresh green beans, those work too. For the dressing, I'm using Greek yogurt seasoned with a pinch of cumin and salt. Add a splash of water to thin out slightly if too thick. Then blend or whisk for about 30 seconds to 1 minute until smooth. For some healthy fats, I'm adding fresh avocado slices. Let me know in the comments what you'd pair this with, and don't forget to subscribe for more.
This one has the perfect balance of protein, carbs, and nutrients, and that makes it a really healthy, simple lunch idea. We're starting off simple by thawing the salmon in warm water, since that takes the longest. This quantity will be enough for 4 servings. Next, cut the potatoes. You can pat them dry with a paper towel to remove excess starch and moisture. This helps them crisp up better in the oven. Transfer them to a baking sheet, then drizzle generously with olive oil. I like to use my hands to make sure every piece is well coated. Don't season them yet, salt can slow down the crisping process. Bake them at 370 Fahrenheit for about 35 minutes. While those are in the oven, bring some water to a boil in a pot. We'll use it to steam the carrots. I'm using a simple setup with a strainer over the pot. Steam them for about 8 to 10 minutes depending on how soft you like them. Once the salmon is fully thawed, remove it from the packaging. I personally prefer wild Alaskan salmon. It has a cleaner taste and fewer additives than farmed salmon, which I avoid unless dining out. Score the salmon gently with a knife. This helps it cook more evenly and also makes flipping easier if the skin is still on. Season the cuts with salt and black pepper to distribute the flavor more evenly. Heat some olive oil in a stainless steel pan over medium heat. Olive oil has a lower smoke point, so keep an eye on the temperature to avoid burning it. Once the oil is hot, add 2 pieces of salmon at a time. Let them cook for about 5 minutes without moving them. Patience here really pays off. Then flip and cook for another 4 minutes or until done to your liking. Now for the green beans, I'm using canned ones for convenience, but fresh will work just as well. Warm them through in a pan for about 3 minutes. By now the carrots should be ready too. You can test them with a fork. They should be tender but not mushy. I overcooked mine slightly, so next time I'll steam them for just 8 minutes. I like to layer the green beans over the carrots, then drizzle with a little olive oil, salt, and black pepper. The potatoes are now beautifully roasted and ready for seasoning. Add salt and black pepper to taste. I prefer to keep it simple. And that's it. This dish is wholesome, satisfying, and makes for generous portions. Feel free to add your favorite toppings or sauces when serving.
We're starting with the shrimp. I'm using about 700 grams of wild shrimp today. If you can, always go for wild caught over farmed one for a cleaner taste and fewer additives. My shrimp were frozen, so I defrosted by soaking them in lukewarm water for about 5 minutes. Then patted them dry using paper towels. This is important to help them sear nicely in the pan and prevent any oil splatter. Now let's heat up a stainless steel pan on medium heat, and I'm adding a generous amount of olive oil. Since shrimp cook very quickly, this dish comes together fast, but olive oil does have a low smoke point, so make sure your heat isn't too high. Once the oil is hot, in go the shrimp. Spread them out evenly and let them cook for about 3 minutes on one side without touching them. This gives them a nice golden color. Then flip them over and cook for another 2 minutes or until they've turned a beautiful pink and have slightly curled up. Remember, shrimp are super easy to overcook, so keep an eye on them. Once they're done, remove them from the pan and place them on a plate lined with napkins or paper towels to soak up any excess oil. I like to keep the seasoning simple, just a sprinkle of salt, but feel free to get creative. Smoked paprika, garlic powder, or a splash of lemon can all add amazing flavor. You can absolutely use a rice cooker for this next step, but if you don't have one, here's how I steam rice on the stovetop. Start by rinsing 1 cup of rice under cold water at least 3 times. This helps remove extra starch so the rice turns out fluffy, not sticky. Then add it to a saucepan and pour in water about 1 inch above the rice level and bring it to a gentle boil. Once it's boiling, turn the heat down to the lowest setting and let it steam slowly until all the water is absorbed. Avoid stirring or uncovering it too often. Just let the steam do its job. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes depending on the rice. Now for our green beans, I'm using canned ones today for convenience, but fresh ones work just as well if you have the time to trim and steam them. Toss them into a small pan, cover it with a lid, and let them heat up on low for about 3 to 5 minutes. Since canned greens usually come pre-seasoned with a bit of salt, I keep it simple. Sometimes just a drizzle of olive oil or a touch of butter adds a nice finish. It's a delicious meal that strikes the perfect balance of protein, carbs, and essential nutrients. We're starting off with the beef since it takes the longest to cook. This recipe makes approximately 4 servings. I slice the beef into 1-inch thick pieces and season generously with salt and black pepper. Keeping it simple makes a difference as you can taste the natural flavors better. Next, I add 1 cup of tomato sauce. I'm using Rawa's brand because of its clean, high quality ingredients, and 1 cup of water to help everything blend together. For extra flavor, I thinly slice about 3 cloves of garlic. I gently place some slices into the sauce and the rest directly on the meat. This gives it a delicious garlicky touch.
Once everything is combined, I place the pot into a preheated oven at 370 Fahrenheit and bake for about 2 hours. While the meat is cooking, bring a pot of water to a boil for steaming the broccoli. I use a simple setup with a strainer over the pot. Steam the broccoli for about 6 to 10 minutes depending on how tender you want it to be. This meal is very customizable. Feel free to swap your favorite vegetables. Green beans, for example, make a great alternative. Next, I add 2 ears of corn to boiling water and let them cook for about 6 to 10 minutes. Cooking time can be different depending on the size and freshness of the corn, but 8 to 10 minutes is usually perfect for a tender bite. Once the broccoli is well done, I like to keep it simple with just a pinch of salt, but you can add your favorite seasonings. For the corn, I use a method that I learned from the people of Indiana. Just melt some butter on top and sprinkle with salt to taste. It's incredibly simple, yet so flavorful. Beef is now ready, and as you can see, the tomato sauce has created a rich, flavorful base. The meat is tender, juicy, and full of taste, yet so easy to make. This meal takes under 30 minutes of active preparation and yields 4 generous portions, making it perfect for meal prep. It stores well in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. You don't need to be a chef to eat well. This dish is nourishing, easy to prepare, and absolutely satisfying. Feel free to customize it with your favorite sauces or toppings and enjoy. To begin, I heat a bit of olive oil in a stainless steel pan over medium heat. Once it's warm, I add a small amount of ghee for extra richness. Though if you don't have ghee on hand, regular butter works just as well. Into the melted fat, I add freshly minced garlic, giving it a quick stir to release its flavor and aroma. After about a minute or so, I grate in some fresh ginger. The combination of garlic and ginger creates an incredibly fragrant base that instantly fills the kitchen with an amazing smell. Now let's prepare the chicken. I'm using skinless chicken thighs, which are tender, flavorful, and cook beautifully in a pan. For seasoning, I keep it simple but bold, a sprinkle of sea salt, freshly ground black pepper, and a generous pinch of smoked paprika. Feel free to add your favorite herbs or spices. This is a flexible recipe, so make it your own. Place the seasoned chicken thighs into the hot pan. Let them sear until golden brown on one side. This usually takes about 7 to 10 minutes, depending on the thickness. Try not to move them too much, allowing them to form a nice crust. While the chicken is cooking, let's prepare a creamy yogurt-based dressing to complement the dish. I prefer using a blender for a smoother consistency, but a simple whisk or spoon will do the trick as well. To the yogurt, I add a pinch of ground cumin, a little salt, and just enough water to reach a creamy, pourable texture. Blend it all together for about a minute, and that's it. You now have a delicious tangy dressing that adds a fresh contrast to the rich chicken. Once the chicken is beautifully cooked and golden, I serve 2 thighs per portion topped with about 3 tablespoons of the yogurt dressing. To round out the meal, I move on to the green beans. In another stainless steel pan, I add 1 can of green beans along with a tablespoon of butter. Cover the pan with a lid and Let the beans warm through and absorb the buttery flavor. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes. It's a simple step, but it really elevates the texture and taste of the beans. For a final touch, I add a few slices of red pepper cheese and Colby Jack cheese, which melt slightly and add a savory richness to the plate. And there you have it, a quick, healthy, and delicious homemade lunch. It's nourishing, flavorful, and ready in no time.